So, hello and welcome back to episode number 5 of the Franchise Success Series. Number 5 up, one of the European veterans, longest standing franchise owner in the EU, Derek O'Dwyer, dialing in from County Clare. Derek, great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Barry. Good to be here.
Fantastic. Derek, we're going to have to start with your background. And, before you joined Action Coach, tell us a little bit about Derek.
Okay, well, before I joined Action Coach, I was actually living and working in the UK and Australia. I was working in sales and marketing roles primarily for IT and telecommunications companies. So a lot different to the world I ended up in Ireland. So my previous two employers had 171,000 employees and then 20,000 employees, and then it became me as a franchise partner. So it was a bit of a uh, there was a mindset shift
Mm,
required fairly rapidly when I became a franchisee of Action Coach.
fantastic. And I was just looking at your profile, Derek. Your background in sales.
Hmm.
You've a background in sales. Coming into Action Coach to hit the ground running, how did that stand to you?
But I think it stood very well, primarily because of the type of sales I was doing before that. We were selling, we were trying to use kind of a sales strategy. We were trying
Mm,
to, I suppose, draw out from the customer what it is they wanted. We weren't trying to push a product, or we weren't trying to oversell anyone. We were trying to establish if we could or couldn't help the client in the previous business. So the type of sales training and negotiation skills training that I'd received previously, I'd say certainly stood me in good stead. Plus the fact that we're very much into, I suppose, indicators, activities, numbers in Action Coach. And one of the first things that Action Coach would have taught us at the beginning was that if you get in front of X number of people per day or per week, you'll be successful.
yeah.
It was basically, I suppose, a numbers game, really. So I had been used to that for the previous, 10 years, nearly all of my working life. It was very much KPI driven. So coming into an Action Coach environment that spoke that same language to me,
Mm,
I
mm,
think did give me an advantage starting off because, you know, I understood immediately that to be successful, I had to get outside my comfort zone. I had to go and meet people. I had to talk to people. And, once I was doing that, I could actually measure things and improve things. If I wasn't even getting to meet people, it just wasn't, it was never going to take off. And a lot of people who came from non-sales backgrounds would have struggled with that because they would never have had to do that in the past. Now, that doesn't mean that someone from a non-sales background can't be successful. They, of course, can. But I suppose the transition was slightly easier for me.
absolutely. It must complement the headset, Derek. We look like two twins here on the
Yeah,
franchise
yeah,
episode
yeah.
number 5 series. But just to mention about, you mentioned, getting in front of people, and certainly when I came into Action Coach, one of the biggest learnings that I got early on was the more people you talk to, the more successful you're going to be. So
Mm.
it's just interesting to hear you talking about sales and to be able to come in and use that to your advantage to build relationships and obviously get more clients. Talk to us about the motivation about becoming a coach. What was it about? What was it about coaching that appealed to you, Derek, 20 years ago? And what was it about Action Coach that stood out to you? Because there's lots of different coaching opportunities out there. What was it about Action Coach?
Yeah, well, there weren't many coaching opportunities out
Nobody
there at
wants
the
to.
time, and to be brutally honest about it, I my motivation wasn't about coaching. My motivation was that I wanted to work for myself, and
Mm,
I didn't have a kind of a blinding flash of the obvious brainwave idea about what I could do for myself. So I actually started looking at franchising before I started looking at Action Coach.
mm,
So, and I happened upon Action Coach just by sheer coincidence. They happened to have just set up in London, where I was based. The fact that their model had proved successful in rural parts of New Zealand, Canada, Australia, Mexico, US, it was very assuring to me because I was going to be basing myself in County Clare, which was
mm,
rural, really, not many large towns or anything like that. And you know when the whole concept of working with business owners, because I wanted to be one myself, was put to me, and the fact that I would be involved in business every day, and as part of the coaching, I would also be learning an awful lot about business myself. It just seemed to tick all the boxes from the outset. I'd say I was probably the easiest franchise sale that Action Coach have ever had, if the truth be told.
We'll have to talk to Paul about that later.
Yeah.
One thing that you've almost opened up the floor to me there, Derek, because you've mentioned a couple of different things in the last sentence that I wanted to ask you about. One being about County Clare, and you
Mm,
mentioned the rural, I suppose the location and that it is rural.
mm.
You've obviously made that work. It's not just Dublin or it's not just Cork or the big cities. You've obviously made that work. So the region of County Clare, tell us about the success in your locality.
Well, my region extends beyond County Clare. That's my
Well,
region extends nearly to every county in the west of Ireland, I suppose, really. But um, how it worked was that when we started off first, we got clients primarily through a system called phone mail phone, which is sending out letters and following them up with phone
mm,
calls and just trying to get in front of them. We also got clients through, obviously, through referral because we were doing a good job with them. But also, we ran a lot of seminars, and we found that the most successful seminars were run in smaller towns around the country. So, if as long as the town had a population of 1,500 or 2,000 people, we were running seminars in those towns, even to the exclusion of the larger cities like Limerick or Galway. So, there probably isn't a county town in Limerick, Clare, or Galway that I haven't done a seminar in. And all our model all the time was if we can get 15 people into the room in those towns, present to them, we're going to get clients from it. And that worked for us, I'd say, for, from when I started off in 2002 right up to when, let's say, the recession hit in 2008. We
mm,
did that consistently. And the key word I would say with all of this is doing whatever you do consistently. If it works, keep doing it. There's always a risk that you chase the latest and greatest invention about how to get clients. But if you find a way to get a client that works for you, keep doing that.
Interesting. Clients now, what number are you on currently?
How many clients am I working with, or how many clients have I worked with?
Both, twofold.
I probably work with around about 20, 25 clients at any one point in time.
Mm,
Some clients that I have are with me for a long time. Some clients work with me, they take a break, they work with me again. So it's not kind of like I'm not trying to recruit brand new clients every single day of the week.
mm.
But that's typically the number that I would work with now. And I'd say
Sh-
probably since I started, I would definitely have worked with well over 400 different clients in the
mm.
past 20 years.
That's amazing, Derek. It really is. In terms of the industry, is there any particular industry that you've focused on mainly?
I've worked with clients across every industry sector, I would say, from agriculture, manufacturing, even medical device, professional services, retail,
Mm,
hospitality, trades, construction. So I have a good lot of experience in pretty much every industry, I would say. I tend to gravitate towards clients that have a sales process where they're, and a lot of those clients would tend to be like the trades where they might be quoting for stuff, following up the stuff, and have a whole kind of angle there and trying to win sales. Probably because my background is in sales. But that doesn't mean I'm solely focused on that. But right now, I would say that probably at least half my clients would be involved in construction in some shape or form. Other ones would be involved in services, the construction industry,
yeah.
and then the
Mm,
rest would be professional services, businesses, IT companies, etc. But to be honest with you, it doesn't actually matter.
mm,
What
mm.
matters is that the business owner wants to take their business from point A to point B, and they might not know exactly how to do it, or they might want to get there quicker than they would do it if they went on their own. So once you have
I
that
think, yeah.
piece of ingredients, then it doesn't matter what the business
I,
is.
I, th- I think it was explained to me best by Vic, who's our global CEO, and speaking about industries and action coach, and he said, like, in terms of what we do, it's under the profession business ownership. Whether it's construction, whether it's hospitality, IT that you mentioned.
Hmm.
What would a business owner in any of those sectors score themselves out of 10 as a business owner? And that's, if we can help that score, that what is that worth? So
Hmm.
it's just interesting, just on the discussion of industry, Derek, talking about, I suppose, the impact and for yourself, really, first and foremost, and your family. I suppose coming into Action Coach, what has it done for you, your life, your identity? Did you have to have an identity shift? Was that part of it?
Oh yeah, because like at the beginning, let's say the whole concept of coaching, like it was all brand new to me. I was learning as well. As it happened, we had started our family at the same time. So all my children, that's all they've ever known is me being an action coach. Like so, the last one actually just finished the leaving cert this week. So
There's a
they've
good
had.
golfer in the family. Apparently, there's one good golfer in the
There's
family
one
there.
good golfer. Yeah, she's. I don't see any budding coaches in it yet, though. That's the only thing. But it is a big impact, like because you're in a whole I suppose zone of continuous learning. You're in a zone of challenging coaching. You'd like to think that rubs off on the people that are around you in a positive manner, and I'd like to think that has happened. Now, I'd also like to think that because you're in a coach and you in theory can work from home all the time, that you've spent all the time in the world with the children growing up. It wasn't the case for me. Actually spent the first 17 years of my coaching career doing a lot of driving around the country, and
Mm. Has that changed
co-
now, Derek?
yeah, pretty much all gone to Zoom coaching now, which is much better. So let's say
Mm.
the COVID forced that upon us, which, as it turns out, was a good thing for me because it was a habit that I struggled to break all along.
Yeah, especially with the price of fuel now and everything, Derek. I'm sure.
Exactly,
I'm
exactly.
sure
So
it's.
I'm,
I'm
well,
sure
I'm justified now.
you're not sorry. You have a lovely poster in the background there. It says BFO, and what a BFO is for anyone joining it maybe doesn't know what a BFO is. Blinding flash to the obvious. Derek mentioned it. That basically means a learning. What is a question for you, Derek? What has been your biggest learning since joining Action Coach 20 years ago?
The biggest learning, I suppose, is that you'll have clients for a long time if you continually add value to them. Like it's not the type of business that you can coast in. You have to while you're in one sense you're challenging your clients to do better. You're also challenging yourself to be better for them all the time. So I suppose the learning is that you have to stay ahead. You've got to kind of keep learning yourself. You can never relax because the world is changing all the time. The business environment is changing. The challenges that businesses experience are changing. And if you're not keeping abreast of all those things, keeping aware, surrounding yourself with people who think the same way, then you're going to get left behind very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Great learning. Super. Um, question I wanted to ask you about, your journey. We've mentioned it a couple of times, 20 years in Action Coach, but entrepreneurship, and we talk about the entrepreneur ladder, that the initial stage of being an employee, going to
Mm.
self-employed general manager, and then I suppose owning your own business. You've gone beyond that. You have your own business. Is it Doolin Whiskey is one of the business? Tell us a little bit about the entrepreneurial dream for you, Derek.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I've met a lot of entrepreneurs in my time as an action coach, and if you were to ask me, would I put myself in the same category as them, I'd have to say no. I am a business owner, but I would say that I'm not as entrepreneurial as a lot of people. In that, when I see what other people do and where they can take a business, I can help them take them there. But I have got involved in other businesses as well, like Burn Whiskey is a distillery we're involved in, so. Probably the hardest business to make money in for the first 7 years of a business. So you'd be wondering, why the hell did you get involved in that when we're teaching business owners how to make a profit every day and every week? But it's just something that it's kind of a legacy type business. It's the type of business where you can build a brand. It's the type of business where you can build value. And it's the type of business where you can kind of create uniqueness. So a lot of the things we talk to a lot of our clients about, we can actually apply to this business. It's just it's a slower burn than a typical business, and you have to wait. When you distill a bottle of whiskey or a barrel of whiskey, you've got to wait 3 years before you can even call it whiskey. So it requires a lot of patience and care and dedication. But that's just one of the things we're involved in. But
How,
entrepreneurship is a unique
hmm.
facet, or is it a unique characteristic that not everyone has?
Yeah, and how long has, just in terms of that business, how long has that been operating, Derek?
Well, we set it up actually in 2013. We started distilling 3 years ago, and we'll have our first whiskies probably next month. So,
Great.
so
I'm
nine
looking
nine
forward to.
year 9 years in gestation.
I'm looking forward to the Christmas party already, Derek.
Very good, very good.
Taste impressions.
Get ready for some cask strength. So,
Absolutely, Derek. We've been through a lot there. We spoke about a lot there, but very keen to know about the future for you, the future for Derek O'Dwyer, the action coach. What's the goals?
well, obviously the goal is as long as I can keep adding value to my clients, I'll continue on as an action coach. I like getting results with clients. I like meeting people. I like seeing businesses grow with my help. And as long as you get enjoyment from that, why would you stop doing that? The fact that we have the ability then to get involved in other things, be it involved in our local community or involved in other ventures as well, that's kind of your added bonus. But the most important thing is that for coaches, coaching is more common, it's more popular. People are more accepting of it now, but that doesn't mean we can relax. We still have to continue to get better because, like I said before, the world around us is changing all the time. The demands on businesses are changing. There's kind of there's a lot of turmoil in the markets right now, so we've got to be conscious of that, and we've got to be a good sounding board for our clients. Not obviously scaremonger, but not also lead them blindly down avenues that don't make sense to them either. So so as long as I keep enjoying what I'm doing and keep getting good results with clients, I'll keep being an action coach.
Absolutely. Well, Derek, you've been leading the way, and we're very proud of you here, an action coach over the last 20 years, long before my time. Last question for you: can Clare win the All Ireland?
I'd say we could do the double.
Do the double. That's a very optimistic approach, Derek. Great talking to you, and I look forward to meeting you in person soon. Derek O'Dwyer, that's been episode number 5. I've been Barry Doyle. You've been Derek.
Thanks, Barry. Appreciate it. Thank you.